Welcome, guys. Welcome back to the Kempire channel and the Kempire Radio podcast. Surprise! Look who I brought with me. Lailah Lynn and Grace Report are here. Oh my God. Ladies, first of all, if you have missed last season of Real Housewives of Potomac and our collaboration, go back. We did it 2 seasons in a row. So if you missed any of that, it's worth going back. Even if you haven't watched those seasons, you just want to kiki, go watch. Ladies, what have you been up to? We'll start with Lailah, because I know people want updates.
I have been up to parenting, like so much parenting. Yeah. But we're doing great as far as my son, my daughter, they're both doing great. We're getting ready to start school. So yeah, just being a mom. And of course my YouTube channel, but I feel like my YouTube channel has taken a back seat for right now. So I'm gonna get back into it.
But you're still putting out content, because I just watched your chili sister video.
Oh yeah.
Last week. I was like, because that's the tea for me that is long lasting for anyone that's a creator or trying to become a creator. That kind of tea, like 10 years from now, people are gonna be like, oh, let me watch this video. Like,
yeah,
not like the of the moment tea. That stuff like, oh, chili sister.
Yeah. That's what it's easier for me to do right now because of my schedule with the kids. Like the evergreen content is easier. But I still, I love the hot topics.
Of course. Grace, and what have you been up to?
I'm fulfilling my New Year's resolution. I'm back to my travel lifestyle. So it's been fun. It has been a blast, you guys.
Where have you been?
Yeah. Where have I what, sorry?
Where have you been?
Okay. So this year, I went back to Italy. I went to Palermo in Sicily. Then I did Geneva. I did Annecy in France. Then I did Portimao in Portugal. Then we did Madeira, the island, which was amazing. I did Tunisia. I just came back, and I'm going to do Turkey in about 2 weeks.
Wow. I travel, but I'm like, damn. See, this is what's the benefit of over there. My gosh, that's amazing.
I know. These tickets always, and I did Marseille, like the south of France. I did the south of France again as well. I forgot, but like these tickets, they typically cost like under 100 euros or just about 150. So it's so easy here,
Yeah. One day. I've been trying to travel. I did do some European summer travel a few weeks ago. Summer's over. Now I'm trying to book something for maybe the end of the year. But Bravo's coming. BravoCon is coming. Are you guys, ladies, considering BravoCon this year? It's in Las Vegas.
No.
Okay.
I feel like I have too much anxiety.
For all those people?
Yes, all those people.
Yeah. Especially this year, it seems like it's going to be a lot more people than it was in New York.
Yeah.
Ladies, the reason why... go ahead, Grace. What were you going to say?
No, I said I heard like they're gonna make New York look like small potatoes this year in Vegas.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. I'll stay tuned because everyone keeps saying, "Are you going?" More than likely, I'll be there. No offense. Guys, if you're watching this or if you're listening to this, I will be posting both Lailah and Grace's information, their social media, their YouTube, their websites will be available in the description of the episode or the video that you're watching. So please be sure to go subscribe, do all the things, okay? Comment, like, get up to date. But ladies, I wanted to have you here on the podcast because we don't recap Real Housewives of Atlanta, and it's been a busy year. Apparently, all of us have been busy. But you have been watching, and there have been 2 new interviews from Carlos Kang. 2 new interviews from Carlos with Nene Leakes and Kenya Moore. Can we first start there? Let's start with the Nene Leakes interview. Grace, what was your reaction to that interview, that 2-part interview?
First of all, I thought she looked gorgeous. She looked better than ever. Like so beautiful. Like whatever she's doing, it's working. Her outfit was stunning. And she still has that vibe with Carlos that I really loved. It was interesting to hear her kind of talk about the behind the scenes of what she was going through in her relationship with Greg, especially. To me, like, she's like, he had that kind of vibe like Cynthia, where he could be nice, nasty. He could curse you out, then turn around and smile. So nobody would have ever guessed that was happening behind the scenes. Like, it wasn't to disparage him, like, rest his soul. But it was just to give a better picture of what she was going through. But I did feel like everything else was a little bit predictable. You know, I'm the HBIC. Kenya ruined the show. I don't watch it. I did nothing wrong. Like that stuff I didn't love too much.
So you felt like she took no accountability for how her relationship with Bravo has soured.
Exactly. None.
Lailah?
I felt similarly as far as the accountability. I don't know if Nene takes accountability. I don't know if that's something that she does. So I don't know if I was expecting it. But yeah, I did think she looked good. Like she was all oiled up and everything. So she looked amazing. I loved her dress. I loved the way she was sitting. Like I loved everything visually. And she was funny. She was kind of like fun Nene. I feel like Nene has, you know, different sides to her personality. And I felt like in this interview, like she was fun Nene. Like she was making Carlos laugh. She was talking about the good times on the show. It was like the fun, happy Nene. And she said that she was saying that a few months ago. She wasn't in that same space to do that type of interview, but now she's feeling better. She's happier. So I enjoyed it. I felt like she gave Kenya some props.
Yes, and Claudia.
Yep, Claudia too.
I thought that was interesting. I mean, Nene is entertaining. No matter how you feel about Nene, you can't take away that she was an important ingredient to the success of Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't think she was the only ingredient, but she was definitely an important part of it. She says that she would return to the Real Housewives of Atlanta for the fans. How did you feel about that, Grace? Do you want to see it? Okay, I'll ask you this. Beyond just Nene, fans are loving Roni, the reboot. However, now they're asking for a Real Housewives of Atlanta reboot. How do you feel about Nene and a reboot?
You know what? I feel like, you know, it's like Lailah said, she seems to be in a good place. She seems to be more positive, but I feel like she's evolved past RHOA. And in speaking to how beautiful her relationship with Carlos still is after all these years, and I know we're going to get to it later, but his relationship with Kenya was the same. Like they all, like he vibes so well with the two of them. So I would love to see him develop things for them individually or together, like on the OWN network or whatever it is that he's working on. I want to see her do something different besides RHOA, to be honest with you. I just feel like even a reboot wouldn't be the best thing for her at this moment.
How do you feel about a possible reboot for RHOA?
I would love that, to be honest with you. Atlanta has so many wonderful, like fly, beautiful, like successful characters. And we're only scratching the surface. So I would definitely be down to see a reboot of that for sure.
Okay. Lailah?
I love the New York reboot so much. Like initially I want to say like, no, let's not reboot Atlanta. Cause I kind of like, you know, the ladies who were on it, like the first couple seasons, like Nene, Porsha, Phaedra, Kenya, Candy, like it's Cynthia. I still like that cast, but I do enjoy the reboot of New York so much that I would actually give an Atlanta reboot a shot. Like I would definitely watch it.
Here's the thing, and I've been saying this during my recap of Real Housewives of Atlanta. I would be open to a reboot. However, I just don't know if it's feasible because look how long we had to wait for Roni.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only thing. And I know both Kenya and Candy have come out and said that they don't think it's possible to do a reboot in Atlanta. I mean, they're a little biased because a reboot would mean that they would be out of work. Candy would be out of millions of dollars. However, I kind of agree because if you recall, right before season 14, they had a difficult time with casting, according to rumors. That's part of the reason why Marlo got a peach, allegedly.
You've got a point, I think.
I would love to see a refresh for Atlanta, but I think at this point, I think a refresh would mean getting rid of some housewives. So Lailah, I'll start with you. Who would you get rid of from this season?
You just said it. You just said it. You know who it is. You know who it is. I'm not even gonna say it because you know who it is. You know who I'm talking about.
Okay, but no, more than just Marlo and her canned peach.
Oh yeah. Also, Sanya. No offense to her, I just don't feel the vibe with her and the other ladies. So Marlo and Sanya for sure. The other ladies, they could stay.
Even Courtney.
Oh.
Courtney, she doesn't really count. But the only thing she does, I feel like she's more in the mix than Marlo and Sanya because she, for some reason, you know, she gets under Candy's skin. She gets under Drew's skin. Like she's, you know, making herself, like she's making a name for herself at least.
She's going to be on Candy Speak on it this week.
Yeah, she is. I can't wait to see it. But I don't like the way Marlo, like I enjoy Courtney's approach more than Marlo's. Marlo goes way too low for me.
Yeah. Okay, if we had to do a reboot, Grace, who are you getting rid of? It has to be 2 or 3 people.
I would get rid of Mo, and I'm torn between Sonia and Sheree. I think Sonia is more interesting. I really like her not blended family, but multi-generational family dynamic and her kind of disputes with her sister. So I would keep her and get rid of Sheree. I don't like Sheree. I don't understand why people wanted her back in the first place. Remember, like the first time people were like, bring her back, she'll save the show. Who said that?
Okay, wait, I have to admit something. I didn't say she was going to save the show, but I will say, okay, bring Sheree back. Bring back Sheree. Because I do think that Sheree is a good bone carrier. I do think Sheree gives good confessional. However, I think we gave Sheree too many shots. This is her 3rd strike, and now you're out.
Yeah, but that's a shame for someone who was on season 1, one of the ladies who helped, pitch the show and everything. For so many people not to want her on the show anymore is a shame.
Yeah,
I like her there for nostalgia, like Yeah, I like her.
I think we need to move on from the nostalgia of RHOA because it's not working. Because the nostalgia that people want is Nene Leakes, and do you think that's going to happen, ladies?
I don't think it's possible.
No, this mediation going on, and now this reality TV reckoning with Bethany. Have you guys been following that?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Very self-serving, in my opinion.
We know how you feel about Bethany. Your deep dive on TikTok. Come on, Grace.
Right. I went down the rabbit hole on that woman. She's just, I don't know. I don't think she actually genuinely cares about the people. I think she just has a bone to pick with Bravo. And so she wants to use the money that she gained from Bravo to take Bravo down. And, it's fascinating that Nene talks about she'd come back for the fans. Meanwhile, she's supporting this lawsuit that Bethany has against Bravo. Like, it's just, I don't know. I feel like she talks out of both sides of her mouth sometimes. Or is it her neck? I don't remember the expression.
Layla, how do you feel about this whole reality TV reckoning and Bethany being the face and messenger of it?
Well, I don't mind like the messenger. To me, I believe like the message, like as far as them being mistreated and then being underpaid and then, things going into like syndication and streaming and them not getting any benefit. Like I understand, contracts and everything. Like if it wasn't in the contract, they don't have it. But I still don't think it's fair. Like some contracts are not written fairly. You know what I mean? So I do think it's something that needs to be brought to NBC's attention, and it does need to be changed.
Especially also, if you look at the legal letter, the first one that was sent, because they just sent a third one. They just sent a third one where they're talking about the NDAs and how that NBC Universal allegedly is using these NDAs to silence people from talking about unlawful workplace experiences. So I find that the allegations that are out there are pretty disturbing as well. But that's not why you guys are here. We're here to talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta. Before we get into Atlanta, guys, don't forget to do all the things. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to like. Be sure to check out both Layla and Grace's channels as well. All of their information will be available in the description of this episode and the video. Ladies, let's talk about Kenya Moore, because Kenya Moore is a hot topic this weekend. She's been going in on social media. She's been responding to the fans. She just did a new interview with Carlos King, and she said a lot. I'll start with you, Layla. What were your thoughts on this? Because I had some thoughts and feelings based off of this, and I'm like, is it over for Kenya?
I feel like she's sounding like Nene in a way. Like when Nene was going through what she was going through and Bravo was pushing her out.
Yep.
She was saying some of the same things, like I'm not getting enough screen time. My storylines are not being shown. So it felt very familiar. But for Kenya to call it out did surprise me a little bit. Because I felt like Kenya would take the approach of, I don't know, just take a softer approach with Bravo, like as if she wanted more screen time. Yeah. But for her to call it out, it did surprise me.
I do want to point out, and this is why I really started to really believe that Kenya was using this interview as a way to sort of like draw a line in the sand, and also to let the world know that she might not come back, was because we have to remember the reunion has been filmed. This is when they are normally talking about contracts. This is contract negotiation time. They're about to probably start picking up the cameras again to start filming season 16. that's why it made me believe. Like I was like, wait, is this her like swan song? This interview right now?
Right.
Great. What was your reaction to this interview and the possibility that Kenya Moore is fed up?
You know, I had the exact same reaction that Lailah had. It's like, okay, it shows that she's kind of like fed up. And you know what? Learning that like she had been filming and she had thrown events at her big like salon that she launched, I felt disgusted for her that was not featured. It's like they like used her as the whipping post for so many seasons, and now it's finally time for her to shine and just rise above the divorce, the this, that, and the other, and show off like her salon. And they choose to kind of cut that out. Like, I see why she's so angry, because that's a lot of publicity and money that they cost her by not featuring that, you know? And I thought your point, Kempire, was really, really smart as well, which is that this could be her publicly negotiating and saying like, step up or I'm stepping out.
And also to get fan reaction, because, you know, some people are saying that they will not watch the next season of Atlanta without Kenya Moore. Would you watch a season without Kenya Moore? I mean, you probably did before. Remember the season she was fired?
But a lot of people didn't. A lot of people sat it out. They did it.
Would you watch a season without Kenya Moore, Lailah?
I would.
I think I would, but it also depends on who the exact cast was. Like if Kenya's not there and it's some random new person who doesn't grab my attention, then I might let it go. Like even this season, I had problems like keeping up with it because it wasn't grabbing my attention. And normally I try to watch things, you know, so I can blog about them. Yeah. But sometimes if it's not keeping my attention, I got to find something else to talk about.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Why are we torturing ourselves?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know, one of the things that came up, and it's consistent with some of the allegations, because I know Candy spoke about this recently when it comes to Phaedra. Phaedra came up in Kenya's interview about some of the alleged dirty dealings that Phaedra was doing behind the scenes. What were your reaction to that, Grace? Like, how did it make you feel anything different? Or did it confirm some things for you?
You're exactly right. It confirmed Shady Feifei. They don't call her that for no reason. She to me, like her moral character is really, really shaky. So I'm not really surprised. And I still do remember the way that Nene dragged her that one reunion. You never win when you play dirty. When Phaedra tried to go behind the scenes and team up with her sisters to blindside Nene with a scene and everything. Like she just never sat right with my spirit. And it sucks because she's a fellow Scorpio like me, but she's the ones that they talk about, the dark side of the Scorpio.
But you know, she's about to be on Married to Medicine.
Yeah,
are you?
I was going to ask you that, Grace. Do you watch Married to Medicine?
You know, I watched the first 3 seasons, then I kind of tapped out, but I will be taking a look. I always take a look at the first 2 episodes of every season. So I will be taking a peek. But can you guys refresh me? How did she ever even wind up on that?
Because she's allegedly dating a doctor that we only saw once during filming, and that was at this group event. I don't know if I believe this relationship. We know Bravo wanted any excuse to bring Phaedra back. And allegedly, well, Carlos King said this, that they really wanted to bring her back to Atlanta, but the budget wasn't there for that. So they brought her to Married to Medicine.
Is it not?
So do you believe
the doctor herself?
Wait, that was 2 questions. What'd you say, Lailah? Did I believe
do you
what?
believe that it is about the budget, or do you think it's about Candy?
I think it's both. Because I do believe, because Candy literally recently said that she doesn't see it for Phaedra. She's not trying to forgive Phaedra. Phaedra never showed any sort of remorse. So I believe it's some of that. But I also don't think that Candy has that much power over Bravo, because if they really wanted to bring Phaedra back, they would have brought Phaedra back, regardless of Candy. But I think it was a combination of both. It's just like, and also the fans don't want to. There are some that want to see Phaedra return because they love Phaedra, but some artists are like, no, we don't. What she did went too far. Yeah. And now, what was your question, Grace?
No, I was just being cheeky. I said I thought they were putting her on Married to Medicine because she used to be a doctor. Apparently, that's what the street said.
Oh,
you said she used to. Oh, never mind.
Right. Here's the thing with Phaedra that I just don't understand, because she went from being this respectable attorney to now be an Instagram model. I'm just like how does that happen? How does that happen? Did you guys? Okay, let's get. Go ahead.
Was she really respectable? Like, I know to me, it was like a facade. And people always said that when she came on the show, a lot of people were like, that's not the real Phaedra. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's all
like Angela Stanton.
She
the
said
one
it.
wrote the book.
Yes. And I believe her. I believe Angela Stanton. And so, and I believe Phaedra was involved in whatever Apollo was doing to steal people's money. I do think Phaedra used to be involved, as Angela said. But of course, Apollo is not going to let his wife go to jail. But I don't think she was ever respectable.
Wow. Well, you bring up a good point. Remember, she was giving that. Wasn't she collecting attorney's fees in the parking lot and cash?
Yes, that's favorite part. Yeah,
that was hilarious. She is underrated, though. I will say that. To me, she was almost as iconic as Nene in the early days. Like, I found her so hilarious. Her, they called her Bougetto with like the baby showers and the this and the that, the first birthday, and then the rhinestone eyelids, the tulips in her hair. Like, she was so funny. Doesn't know the due date. Like, she was iconic to me. Like, I loved her in the early days.
Yeah, I mean, you can't take away from what she offered to the show. You'll never not talk about Phaedra and the Real Housewives of Atlanta. She was another important ingredient. And she's coming to Married to Medicine, and you're sleeping on Married to Medicine, Grace. You should get into Married to Medicine. Married to Medicine is probably one of the best shows, if not the best show, but definitely one of the best shows and slept on shows on Bravo. It's so good. It's really, really good. I don't know how good it will be with Phaedra being added, but we shall see. So
I hope it's still authentic, though, because one of the best things about Married to Medicine is that they're really friends. Like, it's really authentic. Like, I'll never forget when they saved Simone's marriage at the reunion. When everybody got together and was like, you can do this, we'll support you. It's a really authentic show.
That was beautiful.
It really was. And I hope Phaedra doesn't come in and bring an element of like fakeness or, you know what I mean? Like a fake storyline. We already know the boyfriend might be fake. I don't want her to mess up the show. Like, don't be Marlo. Don't do that.
Yeah. Speaking of Marlo, the reason why I brought Grace and Lailah here is because, yes, we've recapped Real Housewives of Potomac before. So we didn't recap Real Housewives of Atlanta ever. But I wanted to have this conversation because Real Housewives of Atlanta is a hot topic. No matter how people feel about the show, if they've checked out of the show, they're not watching the show, no matter what, if you're talking about Atlanta, if something's happening in Atlanta, it's still trending on social media. So I wanted to speak with my women, look, my women, not my women, y'all know what I mean, about this season, because it is very controversial. And I think we might see a huge shift next season for Sweet 16. And a lot of people are wondering, should that shift be within the cast or production? So what's his name? Something Fuller, the executive producer. Oh my goodness. I get it. Say again?
It's not Brandon Fuller, I think.
No,
is that
something else. You guys will remind us. I don't know why. For some reason, I can't think of his first name. Anyways, he is the executive producer of Potomac, but they brought him down last season to be the executive producer of Atlanta, and a couple of other producers from Potomac are in Atlanta. Well, he had to shut off his Instagram. He had to privatize his Instagram because everyone has been calling him out for ruining Atlanta. I heard that he's done this before, where he'll keep it open, then he'll privatize it because of the backlash. But apparently, they're dragging him on social media for ruining Atlanta. So that will be my first question to you, ladies. Do you think, after watching this season, this week is the season finale, after everything that you watched this season, what do you think is the problem, or if there's a problem at all, Grace?
There's just no genuine connection amongst the cast, really, in my opinion. I know that Kenya and Candy have a genuine friendship, but outside of them, I'm just not seeing anything that connects everyone together. There's no the fabric that holds everyone together. And, it's interesting that you're mentioning that this guy came from Potomac, because to me, Potomac started off so good, but then it became so dark and nasty. So it's crazy to me that they're going, oh, production here is great, let's bring them to Atlanta, because absolutely not. Oh my God. Wow.
Lailah?
Disappointing.
I want to know if this Fuller guy, is he who gave Marlo the peach?
Well, I don't know if ultimately falls just on him. I'm sure that's a group decision of different executives. But like I said, the word on the street before season 14, they were having a difficult time finding women to be a part of the show. So to me, that completely made sense why Marlo would get a peach, because why else would Marlo get a peach right now?
Right. Because what I don't like, he's responsible. Like I enjoy Marlo on the show as a friend to the show, but like I don't like how she acts on the show. Like to me, she's too like underhanded. But then like at the last year's reunion, we saw where they gave her this big space to kind of like redeem herself. Yeah. And I feel like if somebody like if a platform gives you a chance to redeem yourself, you're supposed to redeem yourself and keep it up, like go upward. Don't, redeem yourself and then still go back low. And I feel like that's what Marlo does. So if he's responsible for that and some of the other casting decisions on the show, like Sanya, then,
Here's the thing, though. I don't mind Sanya. However, I don't like the flip-flopping that Sanya does in this group. But I think if we were to get rid of like a Sheree or a Marlo or both, Sanya might be different.
Well, probably. Yeah, if you change, because she hangs on to them. So if they're not there, she's going to have to find somebody else to hang on to. Just like Drew, because Drew seemed to be a fan of Porsha. And then when Porsha left, now you can see her kind of get closer to Kenya and Candy. You know what I mean? So of course, Sanya would change. But I want to see if Sanya's going to be on the show, like, I want to see her stand on her own. Like, I know people have to make friendships, but also like stand on your own.
Because no matter how you feel about Cynthia Bailey, I feel like Cynthia did stand on her own. In her confessional, she had her own story. So for me, although Cynthia was, I don't want to say Cynthia was boring, because I don't think Cynthia was boring. She might not be the most exciting person.
Yeah, she's not flamboyant.
But she definitely brought a balance, and she was a great confessional queen, and we see that this season. How did you feel about seeing Cynthia show up this season?
I loved it. Because I feel like I know it's not right to say this, but Cynthia getting married twice on the show and getting divorced twice on the show, I feel like it's iconic. Like she made history. So I love to see her come back. And I felt like if they didn't bring her back, like they're missing a moment. You're missing a moment. That's an icon.
Grace, how did you feel about Cynthia coming back?
Same thing. It was nostalgic, and it made me kind of want to see more of her. I was worried they cut her out for like this season, because I know people were saying she was supposed to appear in a couple episodes earlier, and then they didn't use her in those scenes. So I was like, oh my God, did they trick us about her coming back? Did something happen behind the scenes? So it was nice to see her. It was nice to see her in Kenya. Are they still kind of like a little off ever since they did Ultimate Girls Trip together to anybody else?
No, she talked about this. I think she actually talked about this on the show. And like her first full time back, we got like a full update. And she said that they bonded at Teresa Giudice's wedding. That's where they reconnected. And she said that the friendship is not what it used to be, but it's definitely in a better place. Yeah. So I was like, okay, the girls trip was interesting to see that fall out. It would have been interesting to fall out on the show, but they probably wouldn't be in a good place if she had come back to Atlanta.
Yeah. I remember her saying, I don't know if it was an interview or where I saw it, but she was saying the reason it looked like she was in more episodes is because she was actually with Kenya at Kenya was doing like a photo shoot for her Kenya Moore hair care. She was with her, but she wasn't actually filming. She was just with her like as a friend. And they had filmed.
I think she said that she was actually next door. She was doing something else. Yeah. And she came and part of the shoot, but she wasn't technically supposed to be there. And some people also speculated that they didn't want in that same week to have her return, but also that OG dinner. Let's talk about the OG dinner. Who did the OG dinner land? Okay, or look at Lailah. You guys, you will see a visual version of the podcast. Okay, you will see a visual version. Okay, Lailah. What? How'd you feel?
Well, I just felt like Sheree, like she's not that foundational piece. Like I felt like the OG dinner was to set her up as a foundation because she was, from season 1. She's part of the original cast, but I don't feel like she. I don't think she takes that role.
No, they're trying though.
Yeah, and I feel like if it had been somebody like Nene or somebody like that would have had more influence over the group, I think the dinner would have came out better than it did.
You know, they originally invited Candy to be a part of that, but Candy's just like, this is an OG thing. She like anytime it comes OG, because she knows how the fans get. She's like, you're not an OG. Candy has been there since season 2.
Yeah.
Season 2.
Or her little short haircut. Remember the little haircut she used to have? Yes.
Season 2. So look, Candy's not gonna call herself an OG, but I'm gonna call her an OG. She's been there since literally the beginning. She helped build that house. Come on.
Not actually, but okay.
No.
Close enough. I'll say close enough.
She brought some bricks.
Oh God. Okay, Grace, how did you feel about this OG dinner?
The same way. It felt like it was going to be the most iconic, amazing thing to come out, but then it kind of fell flat a little bit because, like Lailah said, like Sheree's not that girl. You know, like she's been there since season 1, but she is not like the cornerstone. What does Bob Marley say? The stone that the builder refused. She is not that one, right? But it was nice.
Bob Marley. I think it's a Bible quote.
Oh,
he was quoting the Bible.
Well, my bad. It's late. I'm not thinking. Like,
it's okay. There'll be some that will know that it's from the Bible, and there'll be some that are like, yeah, I thought it was from Bob Marley. It's really great.
It's just so iconic. But you know, I also kind of wish that the dinner took place like as the Kim and Kroy situation. I felt like, oh, imagine if Kim went from meeting Kroy on the show thanks to Sheree to divorce and then talking to Sheree about it. That would have been so like good. But unfortunately, the timing just wasn't there for the situation.
Yeah. Because, and it's so funny because they are all OGs, you would think someone in that group would have been a nice foundation. Kim may be a little bit in that situation, but she's so fake, and we've already tried to bring Kim back before, and that was such a fail. Such a fail. How do you guys feel about it? Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, was it Kenya or Nene in the interview with Carlos that mentioned, because I didn't realize this, that they had kind of like boycotted Kim because Kim was getting preferential treatment.
Yes. That was what, season
Kenya.
5? Oh, like they were about to film season 5, and Kenya brought it up how Candy, who else is there that season?
Cynthia
was there.
Cynthia, a bunch of them had collectively said that they're not going to film because they were upset with the special treatment that Kim was getting.
Yeah, I knew they were upset about it, but I didn't know it was that formal where they were actually boycotting. I thought that was interesting.
And that's why we got that scene with Porsha and Kenya. Bye, Ashy.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like getting that history from these interviews because there's a lot of behind the scenes things that we don't know. So that was kind of nice to kind of get those behind the scenes things. That OG situation was a fail. I didn't like it. It wasn't entertaining, but I already kind of knew that it wouldn't be entertaining because I was like, Nene's not going to be there. You can't have an OG anything without Nene. Carlos tried to do that on his nightcap show. Apparently, Nene said that she had known that the other ladies were going to be there, she would have went. So then he really would have had a one up on Bravo.
Yeah.
No, not this time.
Yeah.
All right.
That ship has sailed, Nene. Sorry, girl.
Poor thing. Well, okay, let's talk about at the top of this season, there was a lot of heat on Candy. And we had Marlo going up against Candy. Sheree had issues with Candy. How did you guys feel about what was happening with Marlo, Candy, and the Sheree situation? They all had issues with her at the top of the season.
Yeah. I remember when we were talking about this with Lailah, we were like, it felt like Marlo had a bone to pick with Candy. I don't know if it's envy or what it is, but she kept trying to like force everything into a Candy issue. Like her nephew passing away, she tried to act like Candy should be so involved in that because he was one of many employees of hers, you know? And then she tried to almost insinuate as well that he passed away like in the restaurant or due to the restaurant or something like that. But it was kind of like a lighter connection in that it was his roommate, but he met his roommate at Old Lady Gang. Like, just like she was really desperate. And I think it was something that turned a lot of people off to her. Like it really backfired on her. And then when she tried to force Drew to use the word shooting and like just all that stuff, it was too much. And then Sheree, she's another one where it felt like she was creating like non-issues with Candy. It just, I don't know if they had a meeting before the season to try to like get at Candy. I think Marlo even once said that she wanted to make Candy work for her peach for once, but it was too much.
Yeah.
It was a collusion, as Monyetta said.
Collusion, yes. It does feel like that. It feels like they sat around a table and decided to go after Candy's neck. But whenever, not just on Atlanta, but whenever the housewives do that, when they produce themselves and produce their own storylines, it doesn't come off great on television. You know what I mean? It doesn't come off authentic. It doesn't make sense to people. And I do think that might have been part of what happened this season and last season with that trio.
Do you think that was influenced by the RHOP producer coming along? Because that sounds like Giselle tactics, you know?
Yeah. And then let her do it. Oh my God. I don't even want to get into Giselle. You just triggered me, Grace.
It's about to come back soon. Here's the thing. I definitely, by the end of the season, because everyone kept on saying, you know, they had the pitchforks, get rid of these housewives. But by the end of the season, by watching all of the editing, by seeing how it did feel, and Kenya confirmed in this new interview that production has been protecting Marlo, trying to create this new version of Marlo that we don't know. We still don't know who Marlo is. And it's been 2 seasons of her being a housewife. 2 seasons. And this season she has a new boyfriend, Scott Lee. Okay, let's talk about it. How do you guys feel about Scott Lee?
I'm still gagged by Kenya's comment about how his outfit was weird. I guess eBay was closed or whatever. Personally, I think he's a front. I don't think he's her real boyfriend because she's got that stair lift going on in her townhouse. I think whoever uses that stair lift is her real boyfriend.
For her real boyfriend.
No shady today, Grace. No shady. I love it.
What about you? How do you feel about the boyfriend Scott Lee, or Scotch Bright, as Kenya likes to call him, Layla?
I mean, I think like on his own, he's an attractive guy. I like his accent, you know, the fact that he cooks, but I don't think it's real. But I also think Marlo she's not going to give you but so much. Like, she doesn't want you to know her real boyfriend. Like, she doesn't want people to know her real business. And that's her business, you know? So she's not going to give you but so much. And that's why I don't think she's good as a housewife. She's better as a friend to the show who comes in and stirs things up and you know, plays that smaller role, a smaller but important role.
Yeah. And at this point, I have to say, after the season and after seeing the lows that Marlo did, I was done with Marlo. I was like, I don't even want you to come back as a friend of next season. Maybe in the future, but definitely not next season. I need a break from you and these antics. I have to say, she's been looking great though. As a housewife, she upgraded all. I mean, she always had her fashions and things like that, but she definitely brought it when it came to her fashions. And I do like her as a confessional. She is funny and shady. But you know, when Kenya goes for her, she runs. When Monyetta went for her, she ran. Okay, wait. Before we get back to the housewives, let's talk about the friend ofs. So we have Monyetta and we have Courtney. Layla, how do you feel about the friend ofs? Would you keep them? Would you promote them? Or would you fire them?
Promotions. I wouldn't. Okay. No promotions over here. No. I'll say this. At first, Monyetta wasn't giving me anything. Like, I just felt like she was just there. And I think I've said before, like, she seems like, when you see her on social media, she seems like everybody's friend. Like, you know, she just gets along with everybody. But there was no real, like, substance that she was giving the show. But I feel like she has stepped it up since then, like how she's escalating this thing about Courtney calling Drew a female dog and how she's you know, making that bigger than what it would be. So I feel like she's contributing now. Courtney, I don't love her character, but at the same time, I feel like she contributes to the show. You know what I mean? So I would keep them. I would keep them in the same role, but I would definitely keep them.
Wow. Okay, Grace. You're going to either promote, keep, or fire. We're playing this game.
You know what? I would keep them. And actually, maybe it's a promotion because I would put them on the reboot because that will help people have like anchors for the reboot. Like, they're still fresh enough that it works for something new, but they're recognizable enough that it helps draw people who already like the two of them. Like, the thing about Courtney is, you know, like you guys have both said, she does like work and she puts other people to work. But for me, it's her voice. It goes right through my body. Like, oh, it's
what do you mean?
Yes. But otherwise, maybe reboot would be nice for the two of them.
Here's the thing. I'd say fire them all. Fire them both. Here's the thing. Manana, this was your second try. Done. Courtney doesn't have a real connection to any of these people. Cousin Courtney is not. They just found out that they're cousins. Done. I don't need either one of them. There's no real connection to any of them. At least with Marlo, there's an actual connection. Fire both of them. Demote Marlo to a friend of. If she'll take it, she will take it because she wants it. Just saying.
Okay, Kempire, we hear you. We hear you.
Guys, if you're just joining us, don't forget. Oh wait, sorry. No, guys, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget, if you're listening to the podcast, to subscribe and give us a 5-star rating on your favorite podcast platform. As always, we will be posting Lailah and Grace's social media, their websites, their channels in the description. Be sure to head on over, support them, follow them, and check out our past collaborations for Real Housewives of Potomac. There are 2 seasons of content for you guys to go and watch. So good. All right. Okay, Lailah, you want to say something?
I was going to ask, because it seems like Kenya is supporting her friend. I can't remember her friend's name.
Akila.
Say it again?
Akila.
Okay. Well, do you want to see more of her?
No, I'm playing. I'm sorry. Here's the thing, though. The little bit that we got of Kenya and her interacting, I liked. But all we've gotten so far, and that this is all editing, is just her there. So it's sort of like, I'm willing to give her a shot because she actually is a wife with a family.
Right.
I mean, I don't know why they didn't maybe consider her as a housewife, but maybe they didn't want another housewife. I don't know. Maybe test her as a housewife next season.
Yeah.
Can I
What
ask,
about you guys? What do you guys think?
I like that, like, Kenya has someone that's like a genuine friend and ally to her. I know she's got Candy, but I would like to see her have another person. Perhaps that'll help kind of push production to give more of her and be like nicer to her, show us her salon, like more of her life with Brooklyn. Like, that could be nice. So yeah, I do like that.
Okay. But you want to ask something, Grace?
Yeah, Shamia, what happened to that? Because before the season started, there were a lot of rumors that she was going to be a peach holder, or at least like a strong friend of, but
yeah, I remember that. I don't know what happened with that. You know, she's expanding her family right now. It was also really nice to see Shamia. I never thought that Shamia was a bad friend of. She always brought it as a friend of. Not the same as a Marlo, but definitely she was always entertaining. And she genuinely are friends with people on this cast. And she's also a staple in Atlanta as well. She knows who Courtney is.
She does. That's the connection, Shamia.
I'm like, wow. We got to talk about that sip and see. We do have to. We will get to that. We will get to that. I just want to kind of go through the cast because we haven't talked about this at all. So we've already talked about Marlo and her canned peach. Sheree has made a major return, and she made a major return. I thought that this season was going to be about the failure that is She by Sheree. No, it's been all about she's a glam mom now. She's dating Martell from Love and Marriage Huntsville.
Oh my
okay. God. All right. Thoughts, Lailah?
Listen. All right. So Martell is not my favorite person, but Sheree dating him, it's interesting. I could say that. I don't know how real it is because I really don't feel like Sheree. I feel like they might have been dating, but I don't feel like they're intimate. I don't feel like they really like go together.
Like every day.
No, I don't believe it because I feel like Sheree gives me ice queen. I don't feel like she lets people get close to her. I really don't. Yeah, not like that. Not Martell. So I think it looks like more than that.
Wait, hold on. Sorry to interrupt you, Lailah. You didn't see that she accidentally liked one of her favorite corns on social media a few months back?
I didn't see it. What was it?
I can't remember what exactly it was, but it was freaky deaky. Those were the ones.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look that up because Sheree, like I said, she gives me ice queen. I can't see it.
Those be the ones. Well, those be the freaks. This is no freak shaming. We're like good for Sheree. Yeah. I don't believe in the Martell relationship, but I'm gonna ask Grace. Grace, do you know anything about Martell? Grace, before this?
Did I what? Did I know anything about him?
Yeah.
Well, I heard the controversies with him and his wife. Didn't he have like a revenge porn situation with a wife and like a bunch of like really nasty things? Like, right. So I don't understand why Sheree would hitch her star list to that wagon. You know what I mean? Like, this guy just doesn't sound like a good guy. She's committed to being on the losing team, and like, you know, when it comes to friends and men.
Here's the thing. I never believed this relationship from the jump. I thought it was a scheme that Carlos King set up for the BS. But apparently it was Anthony who set up the scheme. What did you guys think of Anthony this week? I can't with the desperate people that want to be on this show that are just extra for no reason.
Yeah. I will say I liked his hair though. I like the blonde hair. I will say that. I thought he looked so cute. But no, first of all, if he really threw a shoe at Drew, like, that's too much. Like, why is it going that far? I don't like that.
He threw it back first. I'm just going to repeat what he said.
I'm not here for the violence. I'm just not. It's too much.
Do you love, wait, Grace, do you love Cisco?
Cisco. Dong, 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 dong. No. And, you know, I saw an interview between him and a YouTuber, and like, he was like really throwing shade at like Drew's looks and stuff. And I don't like that. I feel like sometimes like some men, like, I guess if they consider themselves like flamboyant or whatever, they feel like they have the right to go toe to toe with women, like physically or in terms of insults. And it rubs me the wrong way. I can't support it. Like, it grossed me out, the stuff he was saying about her, the throwing of like the shoe or whatever. Like, I'm sorry, too thirsty.
Yeah. Well, you're beautiful though. I think this is my thing. And I've seen some people draw the line to where if you're wearing an ugly wig, if it's something you can change, like if it's your wig or your dress, then, you know, they can throw shade and it's no big deal. But if it's like something you can't change, like your face, you know, something like that, then
you know, something you can't change, like your face.
We can change those. The girls have been changing them for ages. Right? Face, body, toes, Akbar.
Oh God.
Yes, toe BBL. Yes.
All right. Okay. So since this is a perfect segue, since we were just talking about Anthony, Drew Sidora, this is her 3rd season. And I feel like people are saying that she's carrying the season. You know, at the end of the season, when they wrapped filming, a month later, they had to pick up filming because both her and Ralph were running to the court to file for divorce. Okay, let's talk about it. I'll start with you, Grace. What are your thoughts on Drew over the season, and now, of course, this divorce that we're starting to see them trying to give us this storyline in these last couple of episodes?
You know, I was not really feeling Drew her first season. I felt like she was very sanctimonious and like hypocritical. And then watching her relationship with Ralph progress has always been kind of painful for me, almost like I felt pain for her. I'm like, how do you stay in this? The guy's so disrespectful to you. He's disappearing. He's insulting you. So I think she provides a lot of really like interesting content because it's a real relationship. It's like a long relationship. Like, it's a very dynamic relationship. And I feel like you don't get that with like Marlo and her alleged boyfriend and Sheree and her alleged, you know what I mean? Like, this is a really deep. So I think for that reason, it serves a certain purpose that's often missing in RHOA. So I like her for the show. And I'm excited to watch her like single girl era unfold and to see more fallout from this divorce, because I know it's going to be ugly. Ralph is real petty. He's very like, I felt like he hates Drew, so he's really going to show it throughout this divorce, and I want to watch it go down. And the lesbian or bisexual stuff, that's going to be interesting too.
And I feel like Tommy, I call him Tommy because we don't know what he does for work. I feel like he will be on next season as well. Like, he's going to film. He wants his moment as well.
Yeah.
That's how but I'm gonna ask you, Lailah, what are your thoughts on Drew this season, or even her last 2 seasons? How do you feel about her?
Well, I do agree that she came across very sanctimonious, especially with the whole Prophet Lot situation in Latoya. And then you find out the guy is single, like she did all of that, and he is not married. Like, she did a lot her first season. But I feel like she's coming into her own. I am happy that she's divorcing Ralph. because I feel like he has a I guess you would say psychotic issue. I feel like he's psycho. Like and I feel like she's finally starting to see it, like the wool is being lifted from her eyes. And I feel like some of that wool, like as a church girl, you know, growing up in church, they put the wool over your eyes. And I remember her being on Watch What Happens Live. And she was saying basically, you know, if her husband wanted another child, she would have it, regardless if she wanted another child, but just to please her husband. And I was just like, girl, like,
and she wanted Tanya to do the same thing.
Right. And I felt like that's too much. And so I do want to see that arc where she comes into her own, where it's not all about what my husband wants. It's like, okay, what do I want out of my life? I want to see that. I want to see her reconnect with her sister. I low-key want to see her sister come back, you know, from where she's been. And you can even see Drew's career, like when her sister used to manage her. Remember, Drew was on The Game. She was in the TLC movie. Like she was doing a lot.
I remember her sister had a lot of accolades too. When she talked about her sister Allison, her accolades on she was a writer. She ran certain entertainment businesses. I was like, oh wow. So I agree. I would love to see her kind of come back if she's in a good space, because I know she was struggling with her mental health. But if she's in a good space to manage Drew's career, or even just to be in Drew's life right now, especially right now, I'm here for it. But here's the thing. Look. And see. With Drew, I do believe on some level, because we have to remember Drew is a grown woman. She's a grown woman. So on some level, I do believe you attract who you also are. So on some level, I do believe her and Tommy are cut from the same coin. On some level, I do think he's a narcissist and a mastermind in his own right. But I do believe that because she lies a lot. She's a liar. Come on. Why is she lying so much?
She lies very easily.
Let's talk about what goes on between her and Kandi this season, because apparently at the reunion, her and Kandi go at it. And so they're not in the best place. And Kandi, I see what you're doing by having Courtney on your speak on it this week. Shady. But look, petty. Look, I understand. Because apparently they have a major falling out during the reunion. Because, you know, during this last couple of episodes, Kandi has said that I saw you kiss LaToya, but don't sit here and try and make me out to be a liar. Well, since then, Drew has made it seem like Kandi was trying to produce, you know, because now Drew is in this movie, The Past, Candy's movie with Todd. And she's like, oh, Kandi trying to, you know, she did the whole dungeon thing. And then she even shaded the movie. She was like, next time I need to do it Lifetime and above. So she's really coming for Kandi this season. Okay, go ahead, Layla. I see you got something to say.
I just want to say that scene was so quick and it was such an edit that you don't know that she was talking about her movie. She might have been talking about a phone call that she got for something different. And she might have Lifetime and above. So we don't know for sure.
What about the other stuff, Layla? Like, what about the other stuff that she said?
Okay. I'm just saying that one thing, it looked very edited. That's all.
You giving her grace. I appreciate that.
You know, it's just sad for Kandi, though, that she's always going out there, like offering her friends jobs, like really helping out, supporting their causes. And then it always leads to this. Like they always kind of like come back and like go hard against her.
And this is why, again, Kandi, you're grown. So I'm going to hold you to the fire too. You are grown. People have done this to you time and time again. And I've been in the same position where I've tried to give friends opportunities and then it's a big womp, womp, womp. Look. So I've decided at my big age, I'm stopping doing that. So she needs to stop doing it. Even though I do think at that table read, Drew stood out to me, even with just that one line. I was like, oh, she's an actress. Come on.
Yeah. Definitely an actress. But do y'all think she kissed LaToya? Did she kiss LaToya?
Yeah.
Okay, Grace, you thought
with tongue and everything. I think, you know, she's got the same like arc that Porsha has, right? Sanctimonious wife. Then it goes into like, is she bi? Is she this? Is she that? Then she gets freaky. Then she gets divorced. Like she's going down the exact same path. And I'm really interested in seeing where it leads her. What types of people does she end up with? Is she gonna like right. Exactly. Like, is she going to like be open about that now? Like maybe it's because she was still married to Ralph. So she didn't want to seem like she was cheating or anything. She didn't want it to impact the divorce or separation. But now that like, you know, once this wraps up, will she be free to open up about all this? We'll see.
I don't know if we ever will. She lies so much. And I like Drew more this season than I did in past seasons. But it was so hard. Yeah. Well, you're right. Porsha did lie a lot too. But I do find Porsha a lot more entertaining than Drew. I do find Porsha a lot more entertaining. Do you want to see Porsha come back, ladies?
I do. I hear she's coming back, but we have to see. But I do want to see her come back, especially it seems like now that things are coming out with Fallon and Jalen and all of that. I feel like she might feel more comfortable coming back. You know what I mean?
Okay, Grace. How do you feel about Porsha coming back possibly?
I do. I want to see the behind the scenes because do you guys remember we watched her like spinoff with Simon and Dennis? I want to see them again. That was so entertaining. And so it'll be interesting to see how this marriage really is, like, you know, outside of the Instagram posts.
Okay, Porsha's Family of Lies. I do not want to see that again. I do not want to see this season 2. But I had this idea. I don't remember how many months ago I said this, but I'm going to say it again because she does have the footage from her wedding because the wedding looked like it was lit.
Yeah.
Let's produce something from that wedding. I know she has the footage. That wedding, it was 2 days. I want to see all of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of late now. I can't believe she's still with that man.
You can't?
No.
She's going to hang on. She is going to hang on till the wheels fall off. She is going to hang on. But I just wonder between the two of them, like you said, Grace, I want to see more of their interaction. I want to see if they have chemistry because I want to know.
You like Porsha Family of Lies?
No, I mean like sexual chemistry. I want to, because to me it doesn't look. You know how you said water seeks its level? To me, I just don't see a match there, but I could be wrong. And I just want to see some sparks. Like how Drew was like her and Ralph, what kept them together is basically chemistry. I want to see some chemistry between Porsha and Simon.
Well, Simon might be vindicated. Have you guys been? Because I stopped talking about Fallon Pena and Jalen, but they were on some other reality show. Now they've broken up, and now she's dating Pleasure P.
Yeah,
again.
And now he wants full custody. He's calling her a groomer. It is bad.
And then she made merch. like she should be proud. I thought that was in poor taste. The groomer merch. I was like, that's nothing to be proud about. That term.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah,
but Fallon,
it really
guys, if you're just joining us, as always, do not forget to like the video if you're watching this. Do not forget to rate us and review us on your favorite podcast platform. And as always, be sure to follow our guests on their social media, support their channels. Be sure to go give it a comment, a like, all of that. We appreciate them both being here, both Lailah and Grace. Okay, ladies, before I let you go, first of all, again, shout out to both of you for doing this so last minute. And shout out to Grace because it's very late where Grace is right now. So,
of course.
Just the season overall of Real Housewives of Atlanta, if you had to just, because we're at the end of it, if you had to give yourself, first of all, if you had to rate this season overall, but also what you would want to see for season 16. And if that means a reboot, or if it's the same cast or different storylines, I want to know what your vision is for season 16 of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. If the producers, if Andy Cohen sat you in his office, I need to know your thoughts on Atlanta because I have no idea what I'm doing. I will start with Lailah.
Oh gosh. If I had to rate it, I would give it a 5 because I feel like it's just average, like run-of-the-mill type of reality TV at this point. What I want to see more wealth. I think that's a big thing that's kind of missing. Like I want it to be up there with like Beverly Hills. And they say that was the casting issue. Like the real girls with real wealth in Atlanta are not going to do Real Housewives of Atlanta. But I do want to see more wealth on the show. I want to see more of the city of Atlanta, like the Atlanta vibe on the show. And a lot of that has to do with casting. So I want to see better casting. And I know it's hard, bringing on new people. I know that's hard. But if they're, I guess maybe if they bring on people that people already know, whether they're celebrities or the wives of celebrities or what have you, it could give you more of that Atlanta vibe.
Grace?
Yeah, I completely agree. And then in addition, I would like to see more cohesion between like the girls and stuff. Because I'm thinking back to that initial trip. Remember when Kenya planned that surprise trip and it was just absolutely terrible from start to finish? Like if the girls actually liked each other, it would have been a good trip, you know, even when she wasn't there and this, that, and the other. So people who like each other, I want to see more evolutions of people's lives. Like I want to see Kenya's salon. I want to see Drew's divorce. I'm excited to watch Sonia grow her family and try to figure out what's going on with her the other people in her family as well. I know that they mentioned that they found an apartment or something. Like, will they stay? Will they go? How will that affect the relationship moving forward? I want to see real relationships, no more fake things, like just more authenticity.
Yeah. Well, you know, we didn't talk heavily about Kenya or Kandi and their roles this season, but Kandi was very, very absent. But Kandi said, well, they could have followed my issues with the band because everyone, did you guys watch SWV and Escape?
Yes. Oh, that was crazy.
Oh,
yeah.
that was good.
I didn't know their music. I have to admit, you guys, I had never heard of them until like RHOA. So I feel like out of the loop on those groups.
I'm sure you're not only the only one. I'm sure a lot of people felt that way. So being on this platform really did elevate both of those groups. But Kandi said that, yes, I was busy this season. However, they could have followed all of those different things. They could have followed what we did in these last couple of episodes, see the filming for the past. Okay, I have to ask you ladies this. I have a couple of questions. I'm sorry.
But did you? Okay.
Wait, what was it, Layla?
No, I was going to say, did you tell us what you wanted to see for
I'll
Sweet?
tell you at the end. No. So, you know, a lot of people, and it's so funny what the audience picks up on and what they focus on, because when we recap last week's episode, a lot of people were like, why did Kandi have Drew do all of that in her own bed? And again, Todd said we're saving 6 figures by filming in our own house. You know, he don't buy a generator at the OLG. How did you ladies react to them filming in Kandi's bedroom, her boudoir?
Not a good idea, especially after the dungeon stuff that already played out. And I think, Kempire, you mentioned this earlier, that Drew was kind of talking about dungeony things again. The lines are too blurred there. And I'm pretty sure people are starting to suspect that Todd is kind of into Drew and might want to have a little something. Yeah, he said something about that.
Yeah. And I felt like Kandi didn't hear exactly what he said. He said, what if Drew pulled me into the scene?
I didn't miss that part. What?
Yeah. If you watch back, he said, what if Drew pulled me into the scene? And the way Kandi responded, she was like, well, I know you want to be an actor. She didn't click that he was saying Drew.
Oh.
So he has Drew in his bed. That's not missing me either, Grace. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, first of all, you cannot be in my bed. I feel like they have a whole nother house. Like, why aren't you?
Why didn't you make that into like at least a studio setup?
So these are the questions that need to be asked. Why are you using your exact bed? And then why are you making comments about Drew pulling you into the scene? Like, first of all, I do feel like the movie is like a biography about Kandi and Todd and the hall passes or whatever. I do feel like it's a biography. And I do think Todd is doing a little bit too much, you know, having Drew in his bed.
I didn't like that either because I'm big on energy. I get it. I get it budget wise, but you have a whole other house. You could have set up a whole situation, and that wouldn't have cost you 6 figures to set up another bedroom in the other house. I wouldn't want all these people traipsing through my house with their bad juju.
Right.
I would have refused. I would have put my foot down.
Yeah.
I would have had to put my foot down.
What about Bob Whitfield and the surprise reveal of his grown daughter at Sheree's? Okay, first of all, we have to say this Sheree Sip and See was not about this baby. She had like 500,000 people in Chateau Thelma. It looked beautiful. Don't get me wrong. It looked beautiful. However, this was clearly about Sheree, which was cringy. It was a little cringy. That poor little baby coming out and seeing all these people. COVID is still strong. Just saying. Yep. So, okay, what did you guys think about Bob Whitfield announcing at this event his baby?
So disrespectful. I think I said this in your live chat when you were recapping it, Kempire, but low down, gutter, dirty. It was so mean. Like, it felt to me like another one of him, like his mind games and his forms of abuse over her. And I just really did not like it. It wasn't funny the way he wanted it to be. And I also didn't understand like when the kids knew about this and why they kept it secret from her, or if they kept it secret. Just very weird.
Some people speculated that they believe that Sheree did know.
I don't know.
Okay, look at Layla. What did you think about this, Bob Will? His own sip and see.
I thought it was like a gut punch. Like, even though they're divorced, to find out years later that the whole time he had another child that he didn't tell you about, that hurts. I feel like Sheree tried to play it off like she doesn't care, but it had to hurt. You know what I mean?
What about the tea that Kenya? No one's talking about this tea. Kenya said in her confessional, I met Bob when he was dating my girlfriend and he was cheating on Sheree. I didn't know he was cheating on Sheree at the time, though.
Right.
I was like, all this tea.
Yeah.
That's
terrible. The way he has treated Sheree, like, it's been awful. It's been awful. It's like he's always running circles around her. Like, you know, her having the party and everything for her granddaughter. Like, of course, it's about Sheree. It's always about Sheree. Every party she throws, the fashion line, it's always about Sheree. But for him to take that specific moment that was supposed to be about her grandbaby and have his secret daughter show up and have
she had to find a release for her to appear on camera.
Yeah, thinking it's his girlfriend or something. Like, even I thought it was his girlfriend.
But she looks so much like him. Yeah. Like, I feel like she looks a lot like him.
Strong. Luckily, not too strong because Sheree's kids are beautiful. Right. And even the daughter, Candace, is beautiful too. Oh my goodness. But okay, the season's wrapped. We didn't get to see the Kenya Moore hair salon. I'm disappointed in that because I've been pushing for a Kenya Moore Fix It show, because I like her construction sense. But that's why I said, okay, you don't have the budget to give her a spinoff. At least let's see it on the show. And they actually had a group event to see the final thing. Yeah. That's disappointing. So I blame production. So that's my final thought on the season. I still don't want to see it. We've given Sheree multiple opportunities. I'm done with Sheree. Marlo, done with Marlo. She's too desperate for a peach. So she'll do anything the producers want for her, for them.
Right.
Sonia, I'm willing to give another shot. She's pregnant right now. She actually is a housewife. She actually is sports royalty, and so is Ross. Bring Drew back, because you know they're going to tap dance for the cameras regardless. Right. Even if they hate each other, they're going to show up to work. So I'm okay with those individuals coming back, but there definitely has to be a shift in regards to what's happening on camera, but also what's happening behind camera. So I believe that a major shakeup is going to happen in production. Eric Fuller. There we go. That's his name. Eric.
Eric. Yeah, he came on camera. Yeah, Eric.
Yes.
So
he's been on camera a couple of times, even in Potomac.
He executive produced this season of RHOA
and last season. Oh,
yeah, wasn't he trained by Carlos King? Didn't Carlos King say that was his mentor? He should know better. I know exactly who you're talking about now. He should know better.
Here's the thing. I know people think that I don't like Carlos. I don't know Carlos to not like Carlos. However, the fact that Eric was trained by Carlos says to me, yes, this is exactly what Carlos is doing. People want to rewrite history, including Carlos. Yes, we've had some really wonderful years of Real Housewives of Atlanta, but the fact that Carlos likes to take credit for that, very much like Nene, he was not the only ingredient behind the scenes either. So let's not, there were plenty of other producers that are not in front of the camera that want to take credit. So they'll let him have it.
I got to push back. It's not about being the only ingredient. It's about being the main ingredient. And I think that's what they're saying. Okay, all right. Like you were saying she's the main ingredient. Carlos is saying he was the main ingredient as far as production.
I don't believe that either. Because here's the thing. If you are the main ingredient, you'll be able to do that somewhere else. He hasn't really been able to do the same magic. Yes, he has other shows, but he hasn't been able to do the same magic as Real Housewives of Atlanta.
On a smaller scale, with Huntsville.
Mm-hmm.
I know Huntsville is also going down, but at their high point.
Yeah, they did do well. Yeah. They did do well. And I was recapping during those years, but now I'm done. No. Ladies, let people know what you have coming up, that what people can look forward to on your multiple platforms. We'll start with you, Lailah. What do you have coming up? And don't forget to promote your course.
Yes. Well, I have a new one. Well, on my channel, Celebrity News and Hot Topics, more of celebrity news, hot topics, and more in-depth, like coming out the woodworks type of stuff. And my new course will be launching soon. But we got to talk about AI. Like, AI is changing everything. So as far as being a content creator and using AI, I have a course coming out about that. Yeah. So stay tuned.
Okay. And Grace, what do you have coming up? I just commented on one of your videos. I was like, you're watching this too, 90 Day Fiance, The Last Resort.
It's so good. I really love this. I got tired of all the 90 Day Fiance spinoffs, but this one is so different, and I'm really loving seeing all the couples interact. So you can look forward to recaps of that. I've got The Ultimatum that I just started. It just dropped today on Netflix. I've got the first 2 episodes recapped. And it's good. It's good, you guys. You're gonna love it if you haven't already seen it. And then Love is Blind comes back September. They're going to finish off after The Altar, then heading to season 5. And so, of course, as usual, I will be recapping that as well. I launched my first digital download, which was kind of exciting. It was like a trivia game. So I'm going to be launching trivia for each show that I recapped. So there's going to be 90 Day Fiance trivia, Love is Blind, Ultimatum, that sort of thing. So keep an eye out for that. I have to come up with a nice website.
Girls are so entrepreneurial. This is why I think, Lailah, we were talking about this when we talk about like how, what's your job title? I would just say entrepreneur. Because look what you guys are creating. That's amazing. Black girl magic. All right. Look, come on. Well, thank you so much
you
for doing
too, KP. You're on it.
I'm trying. I'm not doing all of these things. I can't keep up. But that is amazing. Guys, as always, do not forget to follow them on their platforms, follow them on their social media, check out all the new things that they have coming up. Go subscribe to their YouTube channel. Go check out their latest videos on their YouTube channel, because it's important. More Black and brown content creators will start to show up on your algorithm. I know every day, I know a lot of you have said this to me. Oh my God, how have you been around this long and I have not found you? Because it's an algorithm. When you start liking people that look like us, talk about similar topics like we do, they will start to show up on your algorithm. So go give them a follow, go give them comments, likes, all of that matters. And don't forget to share. Tell a friend to tell a friend about all of what we're doing. And as always, be sure to subscribe to our podcast, Kempire Radio, on your favorite podcast platform. Give us a 5-star rating. I'm not asking for anything less. Ladies, thank you so much for doing this. I look forward to talking more stuff. And guys, they've been on the podcast recently as well, talking about different things. So be sure to check out those past episodes as well. Thanks, ladies.
Yeah. Thank you.